This is Tyson Charter with the New England Cartel, and you're listening to the Uncaged Podcast.
Hey, yo, what's up, what's up? This is Dewey, Black Cobra Cooper, and you're listening to the Uncaged Podcast. Holla at your boy.
I'm Anthony Noah, and you're listening to the Uncaged Podcast.
This is Ray Thompson. Thanks for tuning in, and you have been listening to the Uncaged Podcast.
What is happening, people? This is Paddy the Baddy, and you are listening to Uncaged Media.
There's a lot of things that turn me on in life is a woman, dinosaurs, and this.
Joined for the first time by Tarps Off Sports majority owner Chris Mancuso, and a second time by one of the absolute hottest names in all of combat sports, Paddy the Baddy Pimblett. Paddy, how have the States been treating you, man? You've been spending some time in San Diego and in New York. How have you enjoyed it being out here as opposed to overseas in the UK?
Well, the weather's much nicer than San Diego, lad.
It sure is, isn't it?
Much nicer, lad. Fucking can get used to this, let me tell you.
How was New York? You were at the fights. How was New York?
Yeah, the fights are unbelievable, lad. Some nighter fights, that, let me tell you. The finishes and then even the fights that went to decision, lad, they were all scraps. But the reception I got there was brilliant, lad. When I walked out, lad, people were fucking screaming my name and then asking me for pictures. So I think, to be honest, lad, when I got put on the Jumbotron, I had a bigger cheer than anyone else.
I have that noted for later. How you got one of the biggest pops of the night in MSG. You're not even fighting, and you're not from the U.S. That proves your star power. But I know Mancuso wanted you to ask you a little bit about your training going on, and let's shoot it off to him.
Yeah, man, exactly. So, you have your fight, you beat Luigi, and boom, it just goes off for you. The lizards at Instagram, it took your account. It didn't even matter. You end up building, just such a big name for yourself. And you land a deal, and you're the first UFC star at Barstool. How did that come to be? And how are you enjoying it so far? Because, like here in North America, Barstool is like, it's one of the last beacons of like being able to say whatever the fuck you want and do whatever the fuck you want and not have people bother you about it or anything like that. You enjoying the shit out of that or what?
Yeah, it's a belt a lot. I was in the office the other day, the HQ. It's fucking brilliant, lad. Just walking around like, this is my type of gaff, this, lad. They got on the right person here, lad, for this sort of shit, because we're a perfect fit for each other, lad. Literally, Dave just messaged me and he got in touch with me manager, and it went from there, lad. And it's an unbelievable deal, and it's like we're made for each other. Paddy the Baddy and Barstools are just made for each other, lad. I say it how it is, they say it how it is. We don't let fucking idiots get in our way and chat shit, lad. We just tell it how it is.
How are your interactions with Dave?
Yeah, I can't wait to meet him, lad. I was meant to meet him last week, but never. But I'll be meeting him in 2 weeks because I'm going back to New York for more filming with Barstools on the 20th. So I'll be doing all that. And I can't wait to meet Dave, to be honest, lad. He's a funny man.
Yeah, he's a mega star, that guy. He's an absolute mega star. And you know what? He knows talent when he sees it. I know you've been training and everything, and you have your fight coming up. But I saw in a tweet to Terrence McKinney, he's been saying your name quite a bit. Is that someone you kind of have on your radar to, maybe take the next step, or are you not even worried about that?
I'm not asked, lad. Not one bit. Everyone's mentioning my name, lad. That's why I put that picture up with my feet up in Tenerife, just like, yeah, everyone can mention me all they want while I'm on holiday, lad, based up. But it's just that simple, lad. People are going to mention my name. I'm the main man now, lad. People are mentioning my name. I got sent a story of someone who fought the other night. What's his name? The one who beat Alec Winter?
Bobby King Green.
Yeah, I seen him saying something about me on the story, lad. All these people, lad, fucking...
Everybody wants to milk the cash cow.
Everyone wants a slice of me because they can't fucking promote themselves, lad.
Well, hey, one guy got a response. Jared Gordon called you out, and you were quick to accept that one. Pair that with Terrence McKinney under that same exact post. You said your next opponent's on a 3-fight win streak. A quick Tapology search shows Jared Gordon. Is it safe to say that when we see you in the octagon, it will be Jared Gordon?
I don't know, to be honest. I said that back then thinking that it would be, but I don't know. I'll be honest with you, lad. I haven't got a clue. I thought it would be him with him saying that to me and me saying, yeah, let's do it. But lad, it's not up to me, is it, lad? The UFC matchmakers will put a name forward and I'll sign a contract.
And
That's awesome.
one of the most controversial things, and probably the most controversial things we will touch on this entire interview. I wanted to tackle it because it's taken off on Twitter and it's really blowing up and getting a little out of control. But for all of those who have been claiming that you asked to be paid to appear on the MMA Hour, did that ever actually happen?
No, never happened.
Well, do you have any idea where the rumors came from? Because right as it came out, people were saying Paddy right away.
Well, because of what we put on my story the day before, a few intensity fighters put on our story. We know our worth, and it's that simple. We know our worth. I'm not going to go on the MMA Hour and turn down paid work. Is he fucking mad? Getting paid to do podcasts and make appearances in New York, lad. As if I'm going to say to one of them, no, I'm not going to take that because I'm going to go and do this for free.
No, of course. Yeah, you'd have to be mad to do that. No, you'd have to be mad to do that.
Yeah, never asked anyone for money, lad. I never have in my life.
So, quick question. You can't say an opponent. Do you have a time frame?
Yeah, I think I'll be fighting in March. Lad. The UFC going back to London. They're going to want me on that.
Oh, that'd be beautiful.
Oh, that's excellent. Yeah, I was actually going to ask about that because I knew that there was talks of that happening. So they're going to end up going back to London in March, and that's where you think you'll be on?
Yeah, more than likely. That's why I don't think I'll be fighting till then, because they're not going to want me to fight next month in case I get injured and then I can't fight in March.
That makes sense. So outside of yourself, what other fighters who have made the jump from Cage Warriors do you think will go the furthest in the UFC along with you? Like Arnold Allen, Jack Shore, Mason Jones, Ian Gary had a win. Pretty impressive. Who's impressed you the most out of like the Cage Warriors?
All of the above, really, lad. But Jack Shore's probably had the most impact, hasn't he? 4-0.
Yes, sir.
Beating people up for a laugh. Jai Herbert, lad. A lot of people don't talk about Jai. He lost his first 2 fights against very good people, and then he's just got a lovely knockout. And then obviously we all saw what Ian done the other night. And then Arnold Allen's in like the what ranks Arnold Allen now? Top 6 or something.
I know he's for sure in the top 10.
Yeah, so he's one of the best in the world as it is anyway, lad. And then obviously Mason, lad, former 2-weight champion. Mason put a beat down on someone the other night, lad, and he wasn't well. Wasn't even well, lad, and put a proper beat down on him.
A tough first opponent. His first opponent in the UFC was also Alan Patrick, if I'm not mistaken.
No, that was his second opponent.
Yeah, his second opponent
was Mike Davis.
Yeah, they've given him a steep climb. You wouldn't think a prospect like Mason Jones, the only Cage Warriors double champ since Conor McGregor, would have had that type of matchmaking early on.
Same with Jai, though, lad. Jai got matched with Francis Ronaldo and then got matched with Renato Moicano.
Yeah, those are tough. Tough right off the hop. Right?
That's a heavy first 2 fights, that, lad.
So while we stick in division, though, what do you think of what's been happening at 55? Gaethje Chandler, you were there in person. That had to have been a blast to see.
Yeah, that was unbelievable to watch.
Islam Hooker the week before. What do you think of these guys at 155? And play matchmaker a little bit. Who would Paddy Pimblett give a title shot, and what are you doing with the rest of them?
I'd be giving Justin Gaethje the title shot, like.
Yeah.
Justin Gaethje versus the winner of the title fight. Islam versus Dariush.
I agree. I agree 100%.
Yeah, Islam and Dariush would be an absolute.
But they probably won't fight because they've got the same manager.
Yeah, right. You got to think about that as well.
Gaethje and Habib,
annoying.
Gaethje and Habib fought. I mean, it was for the belt, though. That's a completely different picture. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah. So in a perfect world, Paddy, if the paychecks and everything else align, how many fights do you think you got to really take before you really want to jump in that top, 15 through 10 position?
Well, I'm getting this contract out the way first, lad.
Yeah. You don't want to take the big fight.
Yeah, I'll whatever I don't know how much it is, but whatever I'm getting paid, lad, it's fucking less than 20 bag. So I'll fight someone what's worth less than 20 bag.
So it's got to be a chunk less than Cage Warriors. I don't want to get into the specifics, but if when fighting for Cage Warriors, you were able to get houses purchased over there in the UK and get a lot of stuff done, it's got to be a little bit of a different paycheck just for the fights, at least. Obviously, sponsorships are gearing up.
Yeah, sponsorships are a different kettle of fish, lad. The sponsorships are a different ball game. This Barstool sponsor, lad, I'm getting more a month than I have for any fight.
Yeah, so that's unbelievable. Wow.
You know what I mean? But like the UFC contract just isn't. It's just a standard entry contract, lad. So I can't moan about it. It's that simple.
So are you going to be able to use the full length walkout? Your first walkout at the Apex, or
it was a bit rushed, wasn't it?
It was rushed, and that's due to, I believe, their programming on the TV. But Oh man, we've got to be near. And after that first performance, I expected. Do you expect to be giving your full walkout to have that
Yeah,
full
it will be.
experience?
They just never last time because it's in the apex and you're standing there and they just tell you when to walk. They say go on, walk now. So like they have to make it shorter. But
It's not the same as walking out through the
no,
tunnel and
in the
everything.
O2, that it'll be different. It'll be
Yeah.
different. Don't worry about that.
Yeah. Now, Bellator was in Ireland. You saw the response a couple of the
Yeah,
Irish fighters
Bellator's
got
shit
over
though.
there. It's a shit promotion. Yeah, buddy, it's an absolute shit promotion. But I expect, if they do get when they get this London card in March, you expecting to do you think you'll end up being, maybe in the main event of that slot? I mean, the response to you has been massive.
Yeah,
You
it's
blow
been
the fucking
massive, but
roof off that
they
place.
can't put me in the main event when
No,
there'll be ranked fighters on the card, lad. They can't put me main event.
But say they
no,
go to Liverpool. If they go to Liverpool, who do they put in
They
that
won't
main
go
event?
to Liverpool.
They won't.
no.
No. Only
Nah,
way
it'll
to
be
go
at
to
the
Liverpool in
O2.
the next few years is if they do a football stadium, and you can't do that in March.
Sounds good.
No, too fucking cold though.
The idea sounds good. It would be incredible to see a football stadium full, but it seems there's a few places that the UFC is almost timid to go back to. And I think they would really benefit from going places like Liverpool in Ireland. There's not many crowds like them. Even a Cage Warriors crowd in Liverpool sounds like a UFC crowd in the States. So
Yeah, it does.
I wanted to ask, how many fights do you want to get done in 2022? If you're looking at getting a fight done in March, how many do you think you can get done without biting off a little too much to chew? What's a realistic expectation for Paddy the Baddy? 3 fights?
Yeah.
And a ranking by the end of 2022, correct?
Well, a new contract.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't be taking big opponents on the small bag. How many fight deal is your deal for, Patty? Is it 3 or 4
it's
fights?
just a standard 4-fight deal, lad.
Okay, 4 fight deal. That's not too bad. But I wanna take this back into a little bit of what you got going on at Barstool. I know you do podcasting and that. Is that something that while you're training and building up your MMA career, are you doing anything additional to kind of work on your entertainment side of career or anything like that? Or
No,
do you just walk in every day and just be the baddie?
Yeah, I'm just me, lad. I'm not gonna get no elocution lessons or nothing, lad. I'm just me. Like
That's
even
awesome.
the podcast, lad, that was just my coach's idea. My coach said to me one day, you should start a podcast, people would listen to it. I was like, do you reckon? He went, yeah, you should do. And then the first episode of my podcast I done just sitting there on my own, talking to the camera. And I walked out of the studio and the fella said to me, he was there, Dave went to me, you're a natural, lad, you should be doing this. And then obviously from then I just carried on doing it.
You're a natural at it, man. It comes off as if you're an experienced host, and all of your guests seem to be entertaining. You've got a knack for it, man. And the more stuff you do online, I see your brand just growing more. There's not a lot of people that do it like you do. I wanted to ask, how does it feel to go from the regional star, right? In Cage Warriors, you were a huge star, but in a sense it is regional, to basically the number one name out there. The only people being mentioned as much as Paddy the Baddy right now are Hamza Chimaev, is Hamza Chimaev. But with people calling you out left and right, it's got to give you a sense of accomplishment, or maybe make you feel like you've achieved something you set out to accomplish in a sense. At least the very beginning, at least the first part, you've got to feel a little bit of a payoff now. You are that guy. You've called it for years and years, and your fans have been with you, but now everybody knows it.
That's what I mean, lad. I've saw this coming for years. So for me, it's not a surprise or a shock. I saw this coming for years, lad. I knew I'd be the biggest star on the UFC roster.
How's the missus treating it?
McGregor used to say red panty night, lad, but in the next few years, lad, that's going to be me.
How's the missus treating it? How's she
the
liking
witch?
It? Oh, what's that?
What did you say?
How is the missus enjoying the new fame? She's got to be a little frustrated with all
Yeah, she doesn't like it. Does it?
Yeah, a lot more attention now on the baddie for sure.
Yeah, she doesn't like it, lad.
And so I mentioned Hamza Chimaev. Mancuso, I'll leave it to you to ask the question, a very touchy subject. I'll go ahead. Who is the bigger star? Hamza Chimaev, Paddy the Baddy. Who is the bigger star? Not in terms of ranking.
That's a shit question, lad. Everyone knows it.
Yeah, I was like, I ain't going there with Paddy. We all know who the boy is. I wasn't answering that fucking question.
If you don't go there with Paddy, you don't get the Paddy response. If you don't go there with him.
And everyone's talking about me, lad. He's had fucking what, 4 or 5?
4 or 5, yeah. No, it's not the same hype train. I know he's No, we'll see where Paddy's at after 4 or 5 fights. I bet it'll be.
I even said it on
he's at.
Twitter. I said it on Twitter. Hamza Chimaev fought recently, and his growth on the social medias, he gained about 10,000 more followers than you, and you haven't fought in 2.5 months. Yeah. So I think that basically says it. Hamza got the shoot up into the rankings, but something tells me by the time Paddy's taken 4 fights, his paycheck will be a hell of a lot better. Paddy, just like the last time, man, got it done in about 15 minutes. Glad to get you pretty quickly. I'm glad to get Mancuso in here. Mancuso, I know you said your mom's from out there. Is there anything you want to say to Paddy before you get going? I know this is one you were really looking forward to.
Hell yeah, man. My mom's born right in England, right in London, right? So I've been over there a bunch of times. If Liverpool could sign one manager that isn't Jurgen Klopp, who would it be?
No one.
Steven Gerrard. That's where I thought we were going because he's at Rangers, right? I was waiting for the setup at Gerrard.
Jurgen's the man, lad. I'd never replace Jurgen. As long as Jurgen can stay, lad, Jurgen can stay.
Yeah.
So
hell yeah, man.
You mentioned Liverpool, so now I want to ask you got escorted out of a Watford game, did you not? Or a Watford match. Tell us that story, man. How did that go? Because seeing the Instagram reaction to it and seeing just you kind of got kicked out for celebrating the win of your team, that doesn't register, especially out here.
The Watford goalkeeper gave me the tickets, and obviously Mane scored, and me and my 2 friends celebrated, and one steward who was on a bit of a power trip decided to kick us out.
And now is that because you're sitting with the home supporters, but you were cheering for the away side? Okay, so were they kind of?
We're escorting you out for your own safety, and I said, "Are you fucking messing? All your fans are getting pictures with me." And they were all getting pictures with me, lad. So I said, "Are you for real?"
That's a terrible excuse. And then you got kicked out of a bar too, right? After that, you went to a supporters bar.
We literally walked over the road. One steward spoke to us and we went, lad, we've just been kicked out for celebrating, lad. Your stewards are fucking mushrooms. And then we walked into the nearest pub and then them stewards followed us into that pub after I'd bought a fucking £17 round. And said, you can't come in here.
Oh, man. Last time.
At least you took it to go.
Last time I got you to plug Uncaged Media. This time, could I ask you to sign off by telling us, hey, this is Paddy the Baddy, and you're watching Tarps Off Fight Club. I know Mancuso needs a good intro. December 18th, their first event.
Yeah, we started our own promotion here in Canada. That's why I'm here, lad. Yeah, buddy.
So what do you want me to say, signing off with what?
I'm Paddy the Baddy, and you're watching Tarps Off Fight Club or whatever Mancuso has.
That sounds amazing.
So what is it? Tarps Off Fight Club?
Tarps Off Fight Club.
Tarps Off.
Yeah.
I'm Paddy the Baddy, and this is Tarps Off Fight Club.